Right now at 5, Watered Gardens puts on its 10th annual Empty Bowls event.
We've got a really cold start to our morning today, but we're going to be a lot warmer this afternoon before we see snow chances. We're going to break it all down coming up.
And winter-like temperatures are here, and that means your pipes may freeze. We've got tips on how to avoid frozen pipes.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warner. So it's another very cold one out there this morning. Not warm at all, but it's kind of crazy. We're going to actually get warmer today than what we were yesterday. It'll be pretty nice compared to what we saw. But then we also today have a chance of snow.
Really?
Yeah. Our warmest day so far, and then we've got a chance of snow later. So let me skip this to the right spot because good old Tim, he knows exactly where this is supposed to be, and he knows it's not there. There we go. All right, so let's take a quick look at the future track. And you can see as we go through the morning, we'll have the clouds continue to increase across the area. And then look to the north of Nevada. You see some rain, maybe even some snow showers, a nice wintry mix building in out there. And it will continue to start drifting south. So by this afternoon and this evening, we'll start to get south of Highway 54, and we'll see more of a wintry mix across the area, parts of southeast Kansas and southwest Missouri as temperatures fall. Get a transition into a little bit of some snow perhaps as we go through the rest of the night, and then we may have a stray flurry or two hanging on early tomorrow morning before we're left with just cloudy skies. So the good news is we're not looking at a ton of snow out of this, perhaps about a dusting to say maybe a ½ inch for most of us, but of course we'll keep an eye on that in case any of it changes. Right now though, it is cold. 24 in Joplin, feels like 18. Temperatures across the region also of course on the cold side. 23 Iola, 21 Pittsburgh, 23 Miami, and 22 in Carthage and Neosho. Live look at the MoDOT camera, 36 in range line, looks good. Green light for your morning drive, but we put up the yellow light because we'll start to see that wintry mix start to move through the area for your drive home. Kids getting on the bus this morning, again, cold, 20 degrees, light southwest breeze. Wind shifts out of the northwest, remains light, 46 by 3 o'clock, and that's our high today. We're looking at a high of 46 before we start to see the wintry mix and temperatures fall. And as we head into tonight, it's going to be another chilly one, 22 degrees. But as we mentioned yesterday, we've got warmer weather on the way. In fact, we can take a quick look into the weekend. 43 on Saturday, 47 on Sunday, and we start to clear out a little bit. Temperatures will start to warm up. Now, we're still going to have some cold nights Saturday and Sunday, but that's a precursor of what's about to come our way in the 7-day forecast. And we'll show you some much warmer temperatures next week here in just a couple of minutes.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to this warm-up this weekend. That'll be nice.
I think everybody's ready for a little bit warmer weather.
Yeah, it's too cold right now. I think my car said 20 degrees.
Yeah, it's way too cold.
Yikes. All right. Thanks, Chris. Well, the Joplin SWAT team was unable to find the man they were seeking yesterday, but we now know who he is. Law officers surrounded a home on the 1800 block of Joplin's West 21st Street for several hours. They were searching for a domestic assault suspect who they believed was in the house. That suspect was not there, but authorities have now released his identity as they continue their search. He is 32-year-old Christopher Smith of Joplin. Authorities say Smith assaulted a woman by punching her in the head multiple times and choking her. Smith has an active warrant for second-degree domestic assault. A Tennessee man is formally charged, accused in the traffic death of a Southwest Missouri man. The July crash claimed the life of 67-year-old Del Clark of Neck City. Nashville police say Jeremy King of Troy, Tennessee was driving 89 miles per hour and passing cars when he clipped another car and lost control. He then hit 2 other cars, including Clark's. Police say King is still hospitalized and there were no signs of alcohol or drug impairment. Now, King is charged with vehicular homicide by recklessness, among other counts. Well, authorities have charged a man with the armed robbery of a pizza delivery driver in Joplin. The suspect is Austin Bryant. Investigators say the victim was making a pizza delivery to a home on West 20th Street in Joplin on Monday when a man pointed a gun at him and demanded the pizza, his phone, and all of his money. Police determined the suspect was in a nearby home. They eventually called in the SWAT team and made the arrest. Brian is charged with first-degree robbery and armed criminal action. His bond is set at $100,000 cash only. The victim was not harmed. Well, some Southwest Missouri artists and soup makers have once again put their talents together to help feed the ones who are in need. KOAM's Yana Abdullah joins us live in studio this morning to talk about the annual event. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you, Tanya. The 10th annual Empty Bowls event will take place this morning here at the Empire Market in Joplin. This is a unique fundraising event where artists and restaurants work together for a great cause. Pottery artists and soup makers from Southwest Missouri participate to make bowls and soup for people to purchase. The money raised from these sales will directly go to 4 privately funded organizations that prevent hunger as part of their ministry.
It's a beautiful event that brings everyone together. There are beautiful handcrafted bowls. We've got generous restaurants that have donated all this delicious soup, and it really brings everyone together either over lunch or dinner, and they can celebrate the fact that every bowl is worth 15 meals, and then they also have something they can take home as a reminder.
Pre-sale for the Empty Bowls event took place earlier in the fall, and they sold more than 300 bowls. Everyone is welcome to participate today from 11 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. A minimum of $25 donation is asked for each bowl, but people are encouraged to donate more.
That's pretty awesome, and thank you, Yana. Do the bowls sell out pretty fast? I mean, I know they've already sold 300 of them, but are they making more than that?
Yeah, they do have 600 bowls that they are selling today, and Ruth told me that they do sell very fast. So if you want a specific one, because they're all very unique, you have to go there early enough so you can get the one that you want.
All right, and I'm sure you've already picked out yours, right?
Yep.
All right, thanks, Yana. Well, frozen water pipes can be an unexpected frustration during cold weather. And as the temperature continues to drop, it becomes even more important to make sure your pipes are well insulated. An official with Missouri American Water says warm pipes are a necessity to get through the cold winter.
When your pipes burst in your home, not only are you going to have a lot of water in your house, which could cause a lot of damage, but you also have the inconvenience of not having water service. And if you think about just even going 24 hours without water service, that's an inconvenience to a lot of people.
If you plan on going away during cold weather, experts recommend leaving the heat on in your home set to a temperature no lower than 55 degrees.
All right, quick check of the sunrise sunset for us today. Sunrise a little bit later, 6:59 this morning. Sunset will be 5:07. 7-day forecast. So we get through tomorrow, which is going to be another very cold one, 32 degrees. We saw the warm up through the weekend. And then look at next week as we get back into the 50s to about 60 degrees. Look at Thanksgiving Day, 62, some rain showers possible. But as you can see, the system on Thanksgiving will drop temperatures next Thursday night and give us some snow flurries by next Friday morning. But we don't get nearly as cold as what we have been. So it's a little bit better, and at least we got a few warm days built in there. So
that's good.
Decent looking forecast.
I'm looking forward to that, that's for sure. Well, that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, Quapaw is still alive for a football state title. We'll have who they're going up against in sports.
Plus, those traveling for this holiday season, beware. Those who plan to travel for the holiday may be paying a little bit more.
An experimental treatment for Alzheimer's disease shows disappointing results in clinical trials. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back.
The Quapaw Wildcats are still alive for a football state title. Quapaw is one of just 16 teams remaining in the Class A state bracket. 10-1 Wildcats will be on the road in round 2 Friday night, facing the undefeated Hominy Bucks. Last week, Quapaw won their playoff opener over Central 28-22. This Quapaw team is a dangerous one, especially on the offense. They have a 2,000-yard quarterback completing 75% of his throws. They've rushed for more than 1,200, and Quapaw has 4 players with more than 250 receiving yards this fall.
It feels good knowing that it's not a one-man show. Definitely not. We can go left side, we can go to this receiver and then this receiver, and it's nice putting that on teams and making them stress about that. It's win or go home. I mean, every play matters. It's just you take one play off, they bust a touchdown, you win, you lose by 6, you go home, and the season's over, especially as a senior. It's a lot of pressure, but we love it.
Kansas City Chiefs are back in primetime this week. Chiefs will be on the road against the LA Chargers on Sunday night, aiming for their 4th straight win. Kansas City is 7-2 heading into Sunday. They were without some offensive weapons at practice. Juju Smith-Schuster McCole Hardman and Marquez Valdez-Scantling, they were all sidelined with injuries or illness, but this team still has plenty of other playmakers, and Patrick Mahomes will make it work with whoever's out there.
We put guys in positions to succeed, and so for me, it's about executing the offense, finding the open guy, and getting the ball in my hands and letting those guys make plays. And we've seen over the year that these guys can make plays in big moments. And so we'll give them those chances, as well as have some younger guys step up, and then hopefully we can get some guys back later in the week. And if not, we'll be ready to go with whoever's out there.
Well, the Missouri Southern men's basketball team will be back on the floor on Friday, facing Illinois Springfield in the Pitt State Classic in Pittsburgh. The Lions are aiming for their first win after dropping their first 2 games against Minnesota State and Winona State. Despite dropping those 2, there were still some good things Southern took away.
They compete, they play hard. We got to get a little tougher, but I know they played hard. They gave it their best effort, and that's all you can ask for. We're just hungry to get better, and we definitely will. We use today as a stepping stone to get better, and it's just a long journey, so there's a long ways to go.
Finally, some Division I action. The Arkansas Razorbacks 2-0 to start the season, ranked 9th in the country, facing South Dakota State. Arkansas wins another one, 71-56. Ricky Council scores a team-high 19 points for the Razorbacks. Still to come, after an investigation, an explosion that happened in Poland was deemed to be caused by Ukraine and not Russia. Plus, another check of your forecast when KOAM Morning News returns. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It is now 5:16, almost 5:17, time for a little weather trivia. So snow is something that's becoming a recurring theme here lately. So we want to know, what do snowflakes actually start out as? Is it a raindrop, a soil particle, cloud moisture, or stardust? Let's take a look at our forecast, and then we'll come back to the answer for that so you can think about it for a few minutes. Clouds increasing today, as does the precipitation up in our northern counties. We can start to see a wintry mix by this afternoon, and then it starts to sink slowly south, getting closer to Nevada, Fort Scott, just north of Highway 54. And as the evening progresses, as you can see, it overspreads more of the area along and south of Highway 54, but north of I-44. And as we head through the night, we see temperatures drop pretty quickly, and then we see a transition over to more of a snow situation. And even early into tomorrow morning, we may see some stray flurries or snow showers out there before they eventually clear out and just kind of leave us with cloudy skies for Friday. Now, the good news is, at this point, and of course we'll have more details as it becomes available to us, but we're looking at a dusting to half an inch for the areas highlighted in white. So not another major snow event. We're not quite there yet. 24 in Joplin right now. Feels like 18 degrees. It is cold across the area. 23 Yates Center, 22 Chanute, 19 Parsons and Chetopa, 22 Neosho, and 23 in Miami. Live look at the MoDOT camera, 36 in Rangeline. Looks good. Green light for your morning drive. We'll be mostly cloudy, but quite cold in the 20s. And then we have a yellow light for your drive home as we'll start to see that wintry mix overspread the area as temperatures begin to fall. Kids getting on the bus this morning, cold and 20. By the time they get home, that's going to be a little bit warmer today, 46 by 3 o'clock. In fact, we're looking at that as our daytime high before temperatures start to slip and we start to see the wintry mix build in. And as we head into tonight, we're going to have another cold one with, again, some occasional flurries, maybe some light snow with an overnight low of 22, but warmer this weekend, 43 Saturday and 47 on Sunday. Now for the answer quickly to our trivia question. Well, if you happen to pick B, they're starting out as a soil particle. You would be right. Dirt's carried up into the atmosphere by wind. Ice forms around the dirt, and as the crystal grows, it becomes heavier and starts falling. In fact, as the snowflake falls, depending on what it bounces into on its way down, determines its shape when it makes it to the ground. All right, 32 on Friday, very cold, a nice warmer weekend. As we get into next week, much better conditions and warmer weather. Well, if you're among the millions of people flying or driving for Thanksgiving, travel experts remind you to brace for higher prices and a potential mess at airports and on the road. According to AAA, nearly 55 million people will be traveling during the Thanksgiving holiday weekend. That's just shy of pre-pandemic levels. Jen Sullivan has some helpful tips to minimize travel troubles along your journey.
Traveling home for Turkey Day this 2022 will come with a side of higher costs and a sprinkle of chaos.
There's going to be a big test this Thanksgiving and this Christmas. Can the airlines avoid a repeat of what we saw early in the summer?
Scott Keyes, founder of Scott's Cheap Flights, a website that helps passengers find cheaper fares, says people flying home for Thanksgiving are paying more for flights, car rentals, and even hotels.
Airfare today is 34% higher than it was 12 months ago. If you fell asleep between March 2020 and August of this year, nothing about today's airfare would surprise you.
And the headaches could follow you if you're hitting the road. According to AAA, nearly 49 million of the nearly 55 million traveling this Thanksgiving will be driving. To avoid the most hectic gridlocks, AAA recommends starting your drive before Wednesday and waiting until after Sunday to return home. Driving may be the only option if you still haven't booked flights, but you're not exactly out of luck. Kai says Thanksgiving may be the best time to go abroad.
While airfare in the U.S. is really inflated, airfare over to Europe is on steep discount.
And whether you're flying internationally or domestically, experts say brace for possible delays and cancellations. Kais recommends not checking a bag to better navigate disruptions.
It's going to be far easier if the airline doesn't have to try to find your checked bag in the belly of a plane and transfer it elsewhere.
Now, while gas is still expensive, on Monday, the national average per gallon was $3.77. Prices are down from a month ago and well below the $5 per gallon peak in mid-June. That brings us to our question for you this morning. Are you planning to travel anywhere for Thanksgiving? Yes or no? You can vote. KOAMnewsnow.com/vote. Do so in our app and take part in discussion on our Facebook page. Back with Health Watch right after this.
Topping Health Watch this morning, an experimental treatment for Alzheimer's disease has shown disappointing results in clinical trials. That's according to new information from the makers of the drug. Mandy Gaither has more on the drug's failures and why some Alzheimer's experts say the data may also bring some good.
In the fight against Alzheimer's disease, it was a promising new drug, but gantenerumab failed to help people at high risk of memory loss from Alzheimer's or those who were in the early stages of the disease, according to data from clinical trials.
We are disappointed, just like I know that families would be.
Gantenerumab is part of a class of injected drugs designed to remove sticky protein pieces called beta amyloid from the brain. A buildup of those pieces is a hallmark of Alzheimer's disease. The drug company says this particular drug appeared to remove less of the protein pieces than expected. Clinical trials showed it didn't significantly improve brain function and memory. The company says based on these results, all studies with this drug will be stopped.
I think there is a silver lining. The drug didn't meet its primary endpoint, and that is disappointing, but it did actually help us understand more about this particular strategy.
And there's still hope for that beta amyloid removal strategy. Maria Carrillo with the Alzheimer's Association says this drug just didn't remove enough to get significant benefit in patients. Right now, there are other beta amyloid reducing drugs being tested.
This is an incredibly exciting time for this particular strategy, but there are so many other strategies coming up right behind it.
Another drug, Aduhelm, was approved for treatment of Alzheimer's disease by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration over the summer, despite a lack of support from the agency's independent advisors. That's a look at one of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
We've got another pretty cold start to our day for us on this Thursday, but we are, believe it or not, going to be a little bit warmer. We're going to take a complete look at your forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns.
Right now at 5:30, Watered Gardens puts on its 10th annual Empty Bowls event.
Another very cold start for us this morning, but there's some warmer weather today and then maybe even some snow chances. We're going to break that all down coming up.
And winter-like temperatures are here, and that means your pipes may freeze. We'll have tips on how to avoid frozen pipes.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:29. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warner. So it's another cold start for us across the 4 states. We're going to be a little bit warmer though today, so that's definitely a good thing. Now, see, that was Tim. That was Tim letting me know, hey man, you don't have it in the right spot in the slightest. All right, so let's take a quick look at the future track. As we look at this afternoon, along and north of Highway 54, you can see where we've got some light rain, even some snow showers building in. And temperatures will start to fall throughout the afternoon and evening, and then that's when we see a wintry mix, even some light snow overspreading some of the area south of Highway 54. And as we head into the overnight hours, we see more of this light snow, wintry mix kind of stuff falling, and it'll last into early tomorrow morning before it does eventually start to clear out. Now, the good news is at this time, we're not looking at any significant accumulations out of this, maybe a dusting up to ½ an inch in that white zone there. But nonetheless, we'll see some wintry weather making for some slick spots. 24 in Joplin right now, feeling like 18. Cold across the area. 24 Yates Center, 22 Chanute, 19 in Parsons, 18 Chautauqua, 23 Neosho, and 20 in Monette. MoDOT camera 36 in range line looks good. Green light for that morning drives will be mostly cloudy and cold, but yellow light for the drive home as that wintry mix starts to move into the area. Temperatures fall, so do be wary of some slick spots out there. Kids getting on the bus, 20 degrees by 7 a.m. and mostly cloudy when they get home, but warmer, 46, and that's our high for today, 46 degrees, which is much warmer than where we were yesterday. But then as temperatures fall off quickly this afternoon, that wintry mix takes over, and we start to get cold. Another cold one for us tonight, 22 for the overnight low. But the good news is the weekend is a preview as to what's to come. 43 Saturday, 47 on Sunday with some clearing skies. And it's going to start to actually get a little bit on the warmer side.
Well,
we've got to get through.
I'm ready for a warm-up.
Oh, I think everybody is at this point. We're going to be closer to normal for this time of year. We'll take a look at the 7-day forecast here in just a couple of minutes.
All right, sounds like a plan. All right, thanks, Chris. The Joplin SWAT team was unable to find the man they sought yesterday, but we now know who he is. Law officers surrounded a home on the 1800 block of Joplin's West 21st Street for several hours yesterday. They were searching for a domestic assault suspect they believed was in the house. This was actually Tuesday, I'm sorry. The suspect was not there, but authorities have now released his identity as they continue their search. He is 32-year-old Christopher Smith of Joplin. Authorities say Smith assaulted a woman by punching her in the head multiple times and choking her. Smith has an active warrant for second-degree domestic assault. A Tennessee man is formally charged, accused in the traffic death of a Southwest Missouri man. The July crash claimed the life of 67-year-old Dell Clark of Next City. Nashville police say Jeremy King of Troy, Tennessee, was driving 89 miles per hour and passing cars when he clipped another car and lost control. He then hit 2 other cars, including Clark's. Police say King is still hospitalized and there were no signs of alcohol or drug impairment. King is charged with vehicular homicide by recklessness, among other counts. Authorities have charged a man with the armed robbery of a pizza delivery driver in Joplin. The suspect is Austin Bryant. Investigators say the victim was making a pizza delivery to a home on West 20th Street in Joplin when a man pointed a gun at him and demanded the pizza, his phone, and all of his money. Police determined the suspect was in a nearby home. And then Monday night, they eventually called in the SWAT team and made the arrest. Bryant is charged with first-degree robbery and armed criminal action. His bond is set at $100,000 cash only. The victim was not harmed. Well, some Southwest Missouri artists and soup makers have once again put their talents together to help feed the ones who are in need. KOAM's Yana Dula joins us live in studio this morning to talk about this annual event. Good morning, Yana.
Good morning and thank you. The 10th annual Empty Bowls event will take place this morning at the Empire Market in Joplin. This is a unique fundraising event where artists and restaurants work together for a great cause. Pottery artists and soup makers from Southwest Missouri participate to make bowls and soup for people to purchase. The money raised from these sales will directly go to 4 privately funded organizations that prevent hunger as part of their ministry. Pre-sale for the Empty Bowls event took place earlier in the fall, and they sold more than 300 bowls. Everyone is welcome to participate today from 11 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. A minimum of $25 donation is asked for each bowl, but people are encouraged to donate more.
All right, thank you, Jana. How many bowls did you say they made altogether?
Altogether, today they will have 600 bowls, and earlier they already sold 300. So yeah, they also sell fast. So if people want to buy those bowls, they need to go there and select their favorite ones quick.
Yes, and then you get to take that really cool bowl home. So
yeah, they're very pretty. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much. We'll check in with you again in about 30 minutes. All right, thank you, Jana. Well, frozen water pipes can be an unexpected frustration for people during the cold weather. KOAM's Shagun Bomadelli spoke to some experts on how to keep those pipes warm.
As the temperature drops, it becomes even important to make sure the pipes in your home or businesses are well insulated. You should also be prepared to turn off the water.
Know the location of your water shutoff valve in your home or business. That way, if the pipes do burst, you can shut the water off immediately and minimize damage.
Bernard says frozen pipes are inconvenient.
If you think about just even going 24 hours without water service, that's an inconvenience to a lot of people. So we do our part to make sure that we're providing that service.
One insurance agent says it can be costly to fix a damage from busted pipes.
The average water damage loss is around 11,000, so it can be pretty substantial. So, the first thing I'd recommend doing is go out and shut the water off at the water main, and then contact a plumber, have them come assess any damage.
And not every insurance plan covers the same thing.
A homeowner's policy is going to pay for damages due to a frozen pipe. It covers sudden, unexpected, accidental, disbursements of water. Just so long as the insured takes reasonable measures to prevent that from happening.
Reporting in Joplin, Shagun Bomadelli, KOAM News.
Well, plumbers also say if the pipes in your home burst, shut off the main valve and then open a faucet. This relieves any remaining water pressure in the pipes. Good idea. Well, this morning we're discussing traveling on Thanksgiving.
Traveling home for Turkey Day this 2022 is going to come at with a side of higher costs and even maybe a sprinkle of chaos on there. People flying home this Thanksgiving are paying more for flights, car rentals, and even hotels. But despite those soaring prices, airports nationwide will likely be packed.
And the headaches could follow you if you're hitting the road, according to the AAA. Nearly 49 million of the nearly 55 million traveling this Thanksgiving will be driving to avoid the most hectic gridlocks. AAA recommends starting your drive before Wednesday and waiting until after Sunday to return home.
That brings us to our question for you this morning. Are you planning to travel anywhere for Thanksgiving? So far, 84% of you say you are absolutely not, and 16% of you say that you are. I am technically traveling, but I'm just going to my brother's place in Carl Junction, so we're not going very far.
Well, first you're coming to work.
Well, yeah, okay.
We'll be here on Thanksgiving.
That's the most traveling I'm going to do is coming here, and then it's going there. So I'm not really doing any traveling, but I mean, for me, family, friends, they're all here in Joplin, so we have no need to travel. You know what I mean? So I wonder if that's part of what this is. The results just updated too. 72% now say no, but I am just kind of curious. We can't add this in there, but I wonder how many are not traveling simply because family, friends are here. They don't have a need to travel. A lot of us born and raised here.
Seems like we need another option. Another option.
Our family and friends are all still here. So,
well, yesterday we asked if you're going to spend it with your family and friends.
That's true, and a fair amount of you said you were, so that makes me wonder if that's what's playing into this. So make sure you vote through our website, through our app, and of course take part in the discussion Facebook page. I want to show you, let's go ahead and just show you the Thanksgiving forecast. 62 next Thursday is what we're looking at. Maybe some rain showers, possible flurries by the next Friday. As you can see, we get through the weekend, and we do get some warmer weather in here finally as we start to slowly return to normal.
All right, and that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour in the KOAM Morning News. A Harry Potter theme park is coming to the Middle East.
Plus, a couple in Iowa helps out Santa this holiday season by helping him answer letters. We'll have the latest.
You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back. Topping World Watch, tensions ease somewhat in Eastern Europe after preliminary assessments suggest Russia did not launch the missile that hit Poland. That avoids triggering Article 5 of the NATO Charter, which would have significantly ramped up the conflict. But as Deborah Alfarone reports, It doesn't mean Russia is being let off the hook for the deaths of 2 Polish men.
The explosion that killed 2 people in Poland most likely came from a Ukrainian defense missile. Top U.S. military officials saying it happened while Ukraine was fending off a barrage of missiles from Russia.
The world knows that Russia bears ultimate responsibility for this incident.
Russia launched upwards of 100 missiles on Tuesday, its largest wave since the invasion began in February. The target, Ukraine's energy grid.
The deliberate targeting of the civilian power grid, causing excessive collateral damage and unnecessary suffering on the civilian population, is a war crime.
With winter fast approaching, over a quarter of Ukraine is without power. In newly liberated Kherson, residents came together in the central square to reconnect, charge their phones, and receive much-needed food and supplies.
We decided to come to Kherson because we probably figured there would be some work here for us, and the need was great, and as you can see, it is.
Speaking from the G20 in Indonesia, President Biden says Russia needs to realize the world is united against its war.
Russia can and should stop the war. If they're able to do it, they can stop it tomorrow.
The president is asking Congress for $37 billion in emergency aid to continue supporting Ukraine. Deborah Alfarone, CBS News, Washington.
Republican Congressman Kevin McCarthy, likely the new Speaker of House come January, says Ukraine will not have a blank check once the GOP is in control. Harry Potter is headed to the Middle East. The boy wizard is riding his Quidditch broomstick into the Warner Brothers World Abu Dhabi theme park in the United Arab Emirates. Park says it will be the Middle East's first Harry Potter themed land. It says Harry Potter Land will, quote, invite fans to step inside iconic locations from the wizarding world, seen in an all new way. Warner Brothers World Abu Dhabi is located on Abu Dhabi's Yas Island and bills itself as the world's largest indoor theme park. It currently houses lands built around classic cartoon characters such as Batman, Superman, and Bugs Bunny. That's a look at some of your biggest headlines from around the world. Here's Chris with another look at your forecast.
As we head into this afternoon, north of Highway 54, we're going to start to see some rain showers, maybe even some snow showers. Those aren't the big issue until we start to get later in the day. So you can see now kind of along Highway 54. We start to see a wintry mix starting to build in. So Nevada, Fort Scott, just north of Chanute, Yates Center, Garnett, that's where we're going to see more of this building in. This is by 4 o'clock. As the evening progresses and temperatures start to fall across the region, we see some rain showers in southeast Kansas where it's a pinch warmer. And then in other parts of southeast Kansas, southwest Missouri, we get more snow and a more wintry mix. Some light snow possibly hanging on as we head into late tonight. Get a brief break, and then we may even see a few stray flurries as we head into early tomorrow morning. Now, the good news is we're not anticipating any major accumulations out of all of this. We're looking at maybe a dusting up to ½ an inch here in the white zone, so we're not looking at a major snow event. It is pretty cold right now, though. 24 in Joplin, feeling like it is 18 degrees. Taking a look at temperatures across the area, 24 Yates Center, 19 Parsons, 21 Lamar, 22 in Carthage. MoDOT camera, 36 in Rangeline, looks good. A green light for the morning drive, mostly cloudy and cold. And as we head home, a yellow light, though, because that's when we'll start to see that wintry mix spreading into the area. So do watch out for some slick spots on the roads. Kids getting on the bus, 20 degrees and mostly cloudy, so chilly start. A little bit warmer today, though, 46, mostly cloudy by 3. 46 is looking to be our high before temps start to drop and that wintry mix settles in. Some light snow again possible overnight tonight as we drop back down to a low of 22. Not warming up much tomorrow, only 32. As we head through the weekend, a slight warm up, and as we get into next week, temperatures getting closer to normal as we return to the 50s to near 60 with maybe even some rain chances. We'll be back with more right after this.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. The Joplin SWAT team was unable to find the man they sought on Tuesday, but we now know who he is. Law officers surrounded a home on the 1800 block of Joplin's West 21st Street for several hours. They were searching for a domestic assault suspect who they believed was in the house. That suspect was not there, but authorities have now released his identity as they continue their search. He is 32-year-old Christopher Smith of Joplin. Authorities say Smith assaulted a woman by punching her in the head multiple times and choking her. He has an active warrant for second-degree domestic assault. A Tennessee man is formally charged, accused in the traffic death of a Southwest Missouri man. The July crash claimed the life of 67-year-old Dell Clark of Next City. Nashville police say Jeremy King of Troy, Tennessee was driving 89 miles per hour and passing cars when he clipped another car and lost control. He then hit 2 other cars, including Clark's. Police say King is still hospitalized. There were no signs of alcohol or drug impairment. King is charged with vehicular homicide by recklessness, among other counts. And authorities have charged a man with the armed robbery of a pizza delivery driver in Joplin. The suspect is Austin Bryan. Investigators say the victim was making a pizza delivery to a home on West 20th Street in Joplin when a man pointed a gun at him, demanded the pizza, his phone, and all of his money. Police determined the suspect was in a nearby home. They eventually called in the SWAT team and made the arrest. Bryan is charged with first-degree robbery and armed criminal action. His bond is set at $100,000 cash only. The victim was not harmed. Well, frozen water pipes can be an unexpected frustration during the cold weather, and as the temperature continues to drop, it becomes even more important to make sure your pipes are well insulated. An official with Missouri American Water says warm pipes are a necessity to get through the cold winter. That's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
And speaking of cold, it is certainly that way right now across the area. 24 in Joplin with clear skies. 18 degrees is what it feels like. Temperatures across the region, as we mentioned, cold. 24 Yates Center, 22 Independence, 18 Chautauqua, 23 Miami, Neosho, and 20 in Monette. Live look at the MoDOT camera, 36 in Rangeline. Boy, it doesn't look cold, but believe me, it still is. We do have a green light, though, for your morning drives. It'll be mostly cloudy and in the 20s. But we do switch to a yellow light for your drive home as a wintry mix begins to build in across parts of the area as we head through the afternoon and evening hours. So do be aware of some possible slick spots later today. 20 degrees, mostly cloudy when the kids get on the bus, and when they come home, this is a warmer day than what we had yesterday, despite the wintry mix later. 46 at 3 o'clock. In fact, 46 is going to be our high for today. And then again, as we head into the afternoon and evening hours, temperatures begin to fall and we see that wintry mix move in. Light snow is possible as we head into the overnight hours as well, dropping back down to 22 degrees. No major accumulations expected, but a dusting of some snow out there possible. Only 32 on Friday, then we start to warm up Saturday, Sunday, and as we head into next week, temperatures closer to normal with as we get back into the 50s to near 60 and even some rain chances next Wednesday. We're back with more right after this.
A couple in Iowa has set up a mailbox for Santa again this year, and they're writing back for the jolly old elf since he's a little busy, to say the least.
Lauren Johnson introduces us to 2 of Santa's helpers.
Christmas is in full swing at the Charlton household in Grimes. Along with their holiday decor, you'll find a mailbox in their front yard encouraging kids to drop off their letters to Santa.
We really want this to take off, not for us or not for the publicity, but just for the fact of the joy it brings.
Bryce and Austin Charlton take this time every year to play Santa and write back to these letters. They've been doing it for the past few years.
The first year we got about 130 letters. Then from there, the second year we got over 400. And then last year we had about 180.
Every letter and toy list they receive gets a response back from Santa. And those letters don't just come from their neighbors, but from across the country.
Rhode Island.
Vermont.
Vermont. And a lot of them were local. There were even Urbandale, Ankeny, Ames.
Cedar Falls, Cedar Rapids, New York, we got one from. So it's really cool to see that people here are spreading it to even other states.
The couple was inspired to start the tradition as a way to engage with the community before having a child of their own. Now being the proud parents of a 2-year-old they adopted earlier this year, they look forward to showing him this festive tradition.
I think he would love to, when he gets older, to realize everything that we put into it to help Santa out.
That's pretty cool.
That is really cool.
All right, so if you're interested in writing to have those Santa's helpers help you, Santa's mailbox is located at 100 Northeast 22nd Circle in Grimes, Iowa.
And families can drop off their letters to Santa through December the 18th.
There you go.
So make sure you get that letter written, kids, because we're getting closer to Christmas than you might imagine. Certainly feels like Christmas right now. We're going to take a look at our full forecast when we come back. All right, so it's a little bit of a cold one for us today. I wanted to show you real quick the future tracks. We end this afternoon. North of Highway 54, we're going to start to see some rain, maybe some snow mixing in. And then as the afternoon and evening progresses, from 54 and points south, we'll start to see a wintry mix overspread as temperatures drop throughout the evening. And it kind of transitions to that light snow, light wintry mix and overnight tonight. And as we head into early tomorrow morning, a stray snow shower flurry is still possible. It'll start to clear out. And the good news is, though, unless you're really wanting the snow, and kids, I'm sorry, we're only looking at a dusting to maybe half an inch across the area with what we see later today. It is a very cold start to the day, though. 22 in Joplin feels like 14 degrees. Yeah, it is chilly. 22 Iola, Chanute, 19 Parsons, 21 Pittsburgh, Lamar, and 22 in Carthage as we start the day. Live look at the MoDOT camera, 36 in Rangeline. A few more cars on the road, and as you do your morning commute, you're all right. We're looking at mostly cloudy and in the 20s, but your drive home, that we got the yellow light for, is that wintry mix progressively makes its way south across the area. So as you're commuting, do watch out for some slick spots on some of the area roadways. Kids getting on the bus, 20 degrees, mostly cloudy, cold, and when they come home, though, a little bit warmer. It's warmer than it was yesterday, 46 degrees by 3 o'clock. Mostly cloudy and mostly cloudy skies today, and 46 is the high. And then we see that wintry mix start to build in later this evening across the area. Could transition to some light snow as we drop back down to a low of 22 degrees. As we take a look at the 7-day forecast, only 32 on Fridays, so downright cold. Warming up through the weekend. And by the time we head into next week, look at Thanksgiving, maybe some rain showers, but in the 60s. So a little bit better than what we've seen here lately before it cools down again. We're back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Right now at 6, authorities released the name of the driver killed in a rollover crash that happened just east of Rangeline Road on Tuesday.
After a cold start this morning, we are going to trend a little warmer today before we see a wintry mix move in. We'll break that all down coming up.
And the 10th annual Empty Bowls event kicks off today. Our own Yana Abdullah takes us in for a closer look at how art and fundraising join forces to fight hunger in the 4 states.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warner, just after 6 o'clock now on this Thursday morning, but you know what that means? It means tomorrow's Friday.
Ooh, it is.
That's a nice thing, isn't it? Just a nice reminder that tomorrow is Friday, but it's going to be a little bit chilly between now and then. On the future track, later this afternoon, we're looking at some rain, maybe some snow north of Highway 54, and by about 4 o'clock, you can see we start to get more of a wintry mix along and north of Highway 54. And as the evening progresses, that wintry mix and even some light snow starts to spread south across the area, and it holds on tonight, late tonight, and even into early tomorrow morning, where we could still see a stray flurry or snow shower. But it's good news for those who have to drive in it, bad news for the kids and those who like snow, because we're only looking at maybe a dusting to half an inch of snow in that white area there. So not a lot to expect out of this yet. Right now, 22 degrees in Joplin, feeling like 14 out there, so very cold across the region. 23 Center, 22 Neodesha, Independence, 18 Chatopa, 24 Miami, 19 in Monette. Live look at the MoDOT camera, 36 in Rangeline, looks good. Green light for your morning drive, mostly cloudy and in the 20s. The yellow light, though, for the drive home as that wintry mix begins to move south across the region, so do be aware of some possible slick spots out there as you're driving. 20 degrees, mostly cloudy when the kids get on the bus. When the bus brings them home, a little bit warmer today, 46 and mostly cloudy. 46 is the high we'll see before temperatures begin to fall later today, and we see that wintry mix move in. Some light snow possible overnight tonight into the early morning hours of tomorrow, 22 degrees. But our weekend forecast is a little teaser as to what's to come. 43 Saturday, 47 Sunday. Start seeing some clearing skies out there, warmer temperatures, still cold overnight. We're looking at lows in the 20s both those nights, but we're starting to trend warmer. We'll talk how much warmer it's going to get here in just a couple minutes.
Hey, that's good news. Warmer temperatures just in time for the weekend. You can't complain about that.
Yeah. It's going to be decent, and warmer temperatures in time for the holiday coming up. So.
Ooh, even better. All right, thanks, Chris. Well, Joplin police released the name of the tow truck driver killed in a rollover crash, which happened on Tuesday, and have provided a few more details. That driver was 18-year-old Bradley Skaggs of Lanigan, Missouri. Police say he was the only occupant in the truck when it overturned into a ditch near Interstate 44 east of Rangeline Road. Skaggs was ejected from the truck and died at the scene. Authorities charge a man with the armed robbery of a pizza delivery driver in Joplin. That suspect is Austin Bryan. Investigators say the victim was making a pizza delivery to a home on West 20th Street in Joplin when a man pointed a gun at him and demanded the pizza, his phone, and all of his money. Police determined the suspect was in a nearby home. The SWAT team was brought in to make the arrest. Bryant is charged with first-degree robbery and armed criminal action. His bond is set at $100,000 cash only. The victim was not physically harmed. Cherokee Nation of Oklahoma moves a step closer to having a promise fulfilled from nearly 200 years ago, that a delegate from the tribe be seated in Congress. And Cherokee Nation Principal Chief Chuck Hoskin was among those who testified before the U.S. House Rules Committee, which is the first to examine the prospect of seating a Cherokee delegate in the U.S. House. Hoskin put the effort in motion in 2019 when he nominated Kimberly Teehee, former advisor to President Barack Obama, to the position. If Teehee were to be seated, her role would likely be similar to other non-voting members of Congress. And though those members cannot vote on the House floor, they can vote in committee, introduce legislation, and engage in debate. The tribe's right to a delegate is detailed in the Treaty of New Dakota, signed in 1835, but it has never been exercised. Well, some Southwest Missouri artists and soup makers have once again put their talents together to help feed the ones who are in need. KOAM's Yana Tula joins us live in studio this morning to talk about the annual event, Empty Bowls, out of Joplin.
Thanks, Tanya. The 10th annual Empty Bowls event will take place this morning here at the Empire Market in Joplin. This is a unique fundraising event where artists and restaurants work together for a great cause. Pottery artists and soup makers from Southwest Missouri participate to make bowls and soup for people to purchase. The money raised from these sales will go directly to 4 privately funded organizations that prevent hunger as part of their ministry. Jeffrey Jones, owner of the Clay Cup Coffee Pottery in Neosho, says it is important for him to invest in and develop the community the best he can.
It's important to the Clay Cup that we do our part in order to provide for our own community. And so potters are poor for the most part. We don't have a lot of money to give, but we do have skills, we do have other resources, and we have heart.
Pre-sale for the Empty Bowls event took place earlier in the fall, and they sold more than 300 bowls. Everyone is welcome to participate today from 11 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. A minimum of $25 donation is asked for each bowl, but people are encouraged to donate more.
And you know, we've got perfect weather for soup, so that's amazing. I'm curious though, how many pottery artists are participating in making these bowls for today's event?
There are more than 10 different places where these artists are coming from. So yeah, a lot of different people are just doing this together for the good cause, so it's great.
A lot of volunteers and a lot of restaurants as well are going to be participating.
Oh yes, yeah, over 10 restaurants as well. So yeah, it's coming together well.
All right, and again, that starts over the noon hour at 11. Is that correct?
Yeah, 11. Yeah, in Joplin at the Empire Market. Yep.
All right, thank you so much, Yana. Well, some Southwest Missouri students hold a food drive for Thanksgiving. This is video from last year when they did a domino event. So cool. Student council members from Granby and Stella organized classroom competitions from both schools to see who could gather the most non-perishable food items, and that food will be put into Thanksgiving baskets and given to patrons of the East Newton School District.
Food that gets donated stays within our community. So that's, our kids are local and it goes to our local family. So it's really popular and drives a lot of competition within the classes, but also is great for our own community members.
Tried my hand at Domino's here on the morning show one day. You can always find similar events on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com.
Quick look at the sunrise sunset for today. The sun will rise at 6:59 this morning and set at 5:07, 7-day forecast. So we're cold, very cold tomorrow, only 32 for the high. We warm up through the weekend. Monday, we're 53, Tuesday, 58, and we see some rain shower chances Wednesday and Thursday, maybe even some light snow Friday morning. But as you can see, between now and Thanksgiving, we get nice temperatures in the upper 50s, lower 60s. However, temperatures will fall throughout the day on Thanksgiving down to 32, and that's when we'll see some snow showers. So enjoy the warm weather while we get it, because it will not last very long, but at least it's warming up just in time for the holiday weekend.
All right.
Or the holiday week.
Holiday.
Because it's not technically a weekend.
Extended holiday weekend.
Yeah, there
you go.
Whatever
For
it is.
some people, it's a
warm.
holiday week because a lot of kids don't have school altogether.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, the holiday's coming up, and it's
Yeah.
good weather leading into it.
All right, that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM and Morning News, turning abandoned tracks into community pride.
Across the country, unused train tracks have crisscrossed communities for decades. I'm Michael George with how many cities are transforming these eyesores into beautiful parks.
Plus, Republicans win the House by the slimmest of margins, but what does this victory mean when the biggest fight could come from within the party?
And one new medical study shows just how effective contact tracing was during the pandemic. We'll have the details. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back. Topping Nation Watch this morning, CBS News projects Republicans will win a majority of seats in the House 1 week after the 2022 midterm elections. Both House and Senate Republicans this week opted to keep leaders Kevin McCarthy and Mitch McConnell at the helm for another term. But the GOP is also divided over its future after an underwhelming midterm and former President Trump's announcement for a 2024 White House run. Elise Preston has more from New York.
Republicans are taking a victory lap after narrowly clinching control of the House.
One-party Democrat rule in Washington is finished. We have fired Nancy Pelosi.
On Fox News Channel's Hannity, GOP leader Kevin McCarthy downplayed challenges to a potential House speakership after his fractured caucus voted to nominate him this week. Current House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is expected to address her future plans today, with some House Democrats already urging her to run again for leadership at the end of the month.
I'd still love to have Nancy Pelosi, for sure.
Over in the Senate, long-serving Republican leader Mitch McConnell fought off a late challenge from Florida's Rick Scott to win another term.
I'm not in any way offended by having an opponent or having a few votes in opposition.
The GOP's divisions are now on full display after Democrats won control of the Senate in a midterm election that didn't produce a predicted red wave. That infighting is spilling over in the 2024 election cycle. A day after former President Trump officially launched another White House run, his former vice president and potential primary challenger said this to CBS News' Face the Nation.
While the president and I parted amicably, I believe as we look to the future that we'll have better choices.
Top GOP donors have indicated they want another candidate. Blackstone CEO Steven Schwartzman told Axios he'll back someone else, while hedge fund billionaire Ken Griffin is now openly backing Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. Elise Preston, CBS News, New York.
President Biden issued a statement last night congratulating Leader McCarthy on winning the House majority and offered to work with House Republicans. But McCarthy so far has said he'll use his slim majority to launch more investigations into the Biden administration and to work towards his party's priorities. Meanwhile, Leader McConnell called for bipartisanship. The same day, 12 Senate Republicans joined all 50 Democrats to advance a bill protecting same-sex marriage. A final Senate vote on that legislation is expected as soon as this week. That's a look at one of today's top national stories. Here's Chris with a look at your forecast.
Yeah, so we got a wintry mix possible later today. So right now, live MoDOT camera at 36 in range line. It looks pretty good. A few more cars on the road. And we do have a green light for your morning drive. It'll just be mostly cloudy and in the 20s. But we have the yellow light for the drive home because later this afternoon and this evening, we're going to see a wintry mix start to build in and move south across the area. So do be aware there could be some slick spots out there. Kids get on the bus this morning, cold, 20 degrees and mostly cloudy, but a little bit warmer today than what we saw yesterday. So it'll be 46 and mostly cloudy by 3 o'clock. And 46 is the high we're looking at today, and then we'll see again by this evening that wintry mix start to build in. Light snow possible overnight tonight into early tomorrow mornings. We drop back down to 22 degrees. Good news or bad news, depending on your taking on the snow. We're not really expecting much in the way of accumulation, maybe a dusting to a half inch. Only 32 degrees on Friday, so quite cold. We start warming up through the weekend. By the time we get into next week, temperatures a little bit closer to average as we get to 50s near 60. Thanksgiving Day, maybe some rain showers, 62, and then it starts to cool down, 38 Friday, next Friday, and maybe some early morning snow flurries. We're back with more right after this. Across the country, communities are crisscrossed by thousands of miles of abandoned rail tracks, but many cities are now putting that unused infrastructure to use in unexpected ways. Michael George looks at the new trend of linear rail parks.
These railroad tracks in Queens have sat unused for more than 60 years. It's an eyesore for neighbors like Sophia Monge. But now this abandoned relic is getting a makeover.
I think it's fantastic. Finally. I've been following it on social media for years.
It's called the Queensway, transforming old rail tracks into a 3.5-mile walkable park. Carter Strickland heads up the project for the Trust for Public Land.
Linear parks, we find, are very attractive to people. It's a way for folks to get outside, outdoors, reconnect with nature.
Drawing inspiration from Manhattan's famous High Line, created from unused elevated freight tracks, cities across the country are turning old rail lines into linear parks. Projects are underway in Seattle, D.C., Chicago, and Philadelphia. The biggest challenge for projects like these is money. The Queensway project recently earned $35 million in city funding, but some residents wanted to use that money to turn these tracks into a functional subway line. DC's 11th Street Bridge Park is lowering the cost by incorporating old infrastructure into the new design.
The piers and the pilings are in good shape. We've saved those, which saves tens of millions of dollars and saves us lots of time and energy from environmental review.
But the biggest selling point is creating valuable green space in urban areas that badly need it.
Mainly for the people of Queens, and it's going to be a connecting area between communities, whereas now it's separating communities because it's just dead space.
Railroads now linking communities in a whole new way. Michael George, CBS News, Forest Hills, New York.
Of course, we've seen some of these projects like this in our area, say up in Pittsburgh, Watco in the city of Pittsburgh. And of course, in the Joplin metro area, they've taken old track routes and turned them into things like the Frisco Greenway Trail. Chicago and Philadelphia's parks, they're already open. The Queensway and D.C. projects are aiming to break ground next year. So it's always great to make great use of some old space. And it's going to be great to dress very warmly because it's going to be very cold this morning. And then it'll warm up a pinch this afternoon. You see the rain and snow showers along and north of Highway 54 this afternoon into the early parts of the evening. As we go on and temperatures drop, we'll see this wintry mix and some rain showers start to overspread the area. This is by 7:30. And then as we head into late tonight, we'll see, of course, temperatures fall, so more of a snow winter mix kind of situation out there, maybe some sleet. And then as we head into early tomorrow morning, a few stray flurries, maybe a snow shower are possible as this system exits. Now, those of you who like the snow, I've got some bad news. If you don't like the snow, then I've got good news because we're only looking at maybe a dusting to half an inch of snow across the region. It is cold as we start our Thursday morning. 22 in Joplin, feels like 14 degrees. Temperatures across the area are a wee bit on the chilly side as well. 23 Chanute, 19 Parsons, 24 in Miami, and 23 in Neosho. MoDOT camera 36 in Rangeline. Traffic picking up. A green light for the morning drive, mostly cloudy in the 20s. Yellow light for the drive home as we watch that wintry mix move in. So watch out for some slick spots later today and into tomorrow morning. 20 when the kids get on the bus at about 7, 46 by 3 o'clock when they get home, mostly cloudy. 46 is our high. Wintry mix possible later this evening and overnight tonight. We might even see some light snow blend in there as temperatures drop back down to 22 degrees. Tomorrow, not very warm at all, only 32, but as we head into the weekend, we start to warm up and we trend warmer into next week as well. Maybe some rain showers next Wednesday. Temperatures getting back into the 50s to near 60. We're back with more right after this.
Topping Health Watch this morning, the Affordable Care Act has helped some Americans kick the habit. According to a study in the journal Addiction, U.S. adults with mental health and substance abuse disorders smoke less than those without health insurance coverage during the first decade following the passage of the law in 2010. A new study in the journal BMJ finds the widening gap between personal disposable income and the cost of housing may be leading to poor health, deaths, and suicides. Researchers found social spending on unemployment and pension benefits, as well as rent control programs, could help lower these risks. And a new study out of the University of Illinois Chicago highlights the effectiveness of contact tracing during the COVID-19 pandemic. Student researchers helped prevent more than 100 infections on campus from 2020 to 2021 by successfully reaching and quarantining those who were exposed to someone infected. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
Cold start for us this morning. As we go through the day, though, we're going to be a little bit warmer, 46 for the afternoon high. And as we move into the afternoon and evening hours, we'll start to see a wintry mix move into the area. We may even see some light snow flurries as we head into the overnight hours. We're going to get cold again, dropping back down to 22 degrees. Now, we're not expecting much more than a dusting to maybe half an inch out of the snow that we see tonight, but it's still a possibility. And then the 7-day forecast, and this is where it gets fun. 32 tomorrow. That's not fun at all. Mostly cloudy on Friday. We start to warm up a bit through the weekend. 43 Saturday, 47 on Sunday. And then as you see, we start to return to, believe it or not, closer to normal temperatures by the start of next week. And then we see some rain showers. So let's take a look at Thanksgiving. We could see some rain showers again Thanksgiving. 62 degrees for the high. Temperatures will gradually drop through the day, though, so do be aware of this. If you dress warm or dress cool in the morning, make sure you bring a jacket because temperatures will start to drop through the day. We get down to 32, maybe some light snow Friday morning following Thanksgiving on Black Friday, only 38 degrees. And we get back to a cool pattern after we get a brief warm up. So we've got a couple more cold days to get through before it starts to warm up. We're back right after this.
Right now at 6:30, authorities released the name of the driver killed in a rollover crash that happened just east of Rangeline Road on Tuesday.
Your morning commute looking pretty good so far, but there could be some slick spots for your drive home. We'll break down the full forecast coming up.
And the 10th annual Empty Bowls event kicks off today. Our own Yana Abdullah takes us for a closer look at how art and fundraising join forces to fight hunger in the 4 states.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6:29. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warner. So we've been saying it all morning. It's another cold one, but we've only got a little bit of cold weather to get through before we start to see a warm up. Now, today is an interesting day. Take a look at some of these afternoon temperatures. As you can see, we have a warmer day today than what we did yesterday, but look along and north of Highway 54. Rain and snow mix up there. And as the day goes on and temperatures begin to fall through the afternoon and evening, we're going to see a wintry mix begin to move in. It'll be along Highway 54 by this afternoon and early evening. And as we go through the rest of the night, you can see a wintry mix beginning to overspread a larger portion of the area, transitioning even into some light snow before it exits out of here. And then a brief break, and we might get a snow shower flurry early tomorrow morning before the system fully exits out. Good news and bad news. If you like the snow, bad news. If you don't like the snow, good news. We're only expecting a dusting to maybe half an inch across the area. But it is cold. Take a look at this beautiful sunrise, though, and make sure if you're looking at the sunrise, do it from your window. Do not go outside because it is only 22 degrees, and it feels like it is 14 degrees. And temperatures across the area, not much warmer. 22 Iola, 21 in Pittsburgh, Lamar, 22 Carthage, 23 Neosho, 19 down in Anderson, 36 in Rangeline. A few more cars on the road. And as we mentioned, your morning drive looks great. Green light, mostly cloudy skies, and in the 20s. It's your drive home that as this wintry mix and rain, snow, mixy nastiness starts to roll through the area. We could see some slick spots on the road. So make sure you are aware of that. Do be cautious as this rolls on through and you start heading home because you want to make sure you make it home tonight. 20 degrees. When the kids get on the bus, 7 a.m., mostly cloudy, 46 by 3 o'clock, and that's our high for today, 46 degrees. And as the evening progresses, again, here comes that wintry mix. We head into tomorrow, or tonight rather, this is tonight, 22 for the overnight low. And then the weekend gives us a little teaser. 43 Saturday, 47 Sunday. Clouds start to clear out a bit. We see, that big yellow light in the sky known as the sun. And it's going to give us some warmer weather, and it's going to get even warmer than that. We'll talk about the warmer weather, some rain chances, and how long that warm weather lasts here in just a couple of minutes.
The sun makes it warm?
Well, not entirely, because in the middle of the winter, it certainly does not, because of course we're farther away from the sun.
It's amazing what that little bit of difference makes.
Isn't it though? You know, it doesn't seem like a lot in the big picture, but it's enough that, boy, it can make it downright cold.
That's right.
Because we
for
just
sure.
tilt slightly back.
There we go. All right, thanks, Chris. Well, authorities charge a Tennessee man in the traffic death of a Southwest Missouri man. The July crash claimed the life of 67-year-old Dell Clark of Next City. Nashville police say Jeremy King of Troy, Tennessee was driving 89 miles per hour and passing cars when he clipped another car and lost control. He then hit 2 other cars, including Clark's. Police say King is still hospitalized. There were no signs of alcohol or drug impairment. King is charged with vehicular homicide by recklessness, among other counts. Well, Joplin police released the name of the tow truck driver killed in a rollover crash, which happened on Tuesday, and have provided some new details. That driver was 18-year-old Bradley Skaggs of Lanigan, Missouri. Police say he was the only occupant in the truck when it overturned into a ditch near Interstate 44 east of Rangeline Road. Skaggs was ejected from the truck and died at the scene. Well, the Joplin SWAT team was unable to find the man they sought on Tuesday, but we now know who he is. This happened on Tuesday. Law officers surrounded a home on the 1800 block of Joplin's West 21st Street for several hours. They were searching for a domestic assault suspect who they believed was in the house. That suspect was not there, but authorities have now released his identity as they continue their search. He is 32-year-old Christopher Smith of Joplin. Authorities say Smith assaulted a woman by punching her in the head multiple times and choking her. Smith has active warrant for second-degree domestic assault. Well, some Southwest Missouri artists and soup makers have once again put their talents together to help feed the ones who are in need. KOAM's Yana Dula joins us live to talk about the Empty Bowls event, which is happening in Joplin today. Yana.
Thanks, Tanya. The 10th annual Empty Bowls event will take place this morning at the Empire Market in Joplin. I learned about the importance of this unique event where artists and restaurants work together for a great cause. Here is a small sample of the 600 special bowls made with love for a special cause.
We've got generous restaurants that have donated all this delicious soup, and it really brings everyone together either over lunch or dinner, and they can celebrate the fact that every bowl is worth 15 meals, and then they also have something they can take home as a reminder.
Empty Bowls. The event started back in 2012 to raise money for privately funded organizations that prevent hunger as a part of their ministry. Your $25 donation gets you one of these handmade bowls filled with soup.
100% of the proceeds is divided among 4 local and regional organizations to receive the funds. So we have We Care of the 4 states in Joplin, Mission Joplin in Joplin, Water Gardens Ministries, and then Hope Kitchen in Neosho, Missouri.
There's a stamp that Water Gardens has provided for us so that we have this logo, and then we also put our studio.
Jeffrey Jones from Clay Cup in Neosho has been throwing clay for the cause for a couple of years.
Potters are poor for the most part. We don't have a lot of money to give, but we do have skills, we do have other resources, and we have heart. We really, really believe in this project.
It takes time to make these bowls. They start early in the late spring, and they always sell out.
Providing more and more bowls every year. We keep adding more potters as we train more potters. So it's a wonderful vehicle for expression of community growth.
Potters from as far as Springfield and Lamar contribute to this fundraiser.
It has the purpose of helping people, and we're thankful to have so many skilled potters in the region who offer us their abilities to come and make as many bowls as we possibly can.
You have a leftover reminder that somewhere someone has an empty bowl, which is kind of the idea of the whole event, is just to raise money for local hunger relief by purchasing a beautifully handcrafted bowl, and then you have something to remember it by.
An empty bowl, reminder of the growing number of empty stomachs in Southwest Missouri. Pre-sale for the Empty Bowls event took place earlier in the fall, and they sold more than 300 bowls. Everyone is welcome to participate today from 11 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. A minimum of $25 donation is asked for each bowl, but people are encouraged to donate more.
All right, thanks, Yana. I'm curious, are there a lot of artists and soup makers participating this year?
Yes, there are more than 10 artists that made those bowls, I think 11, and a total of 19 restaurants are participating in making soup.
Wow, that's a lot of soup.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you so much. Here's a check of our forecast.
Quick look at that 7 days. You can see we're very cold tomorrow, 32. And as we mentioned, we're going to start to warm up as the weekend progresses. And as we get into next week, boy, look at that. Temperatures start to look quite nice and mild. And by Thanksgiving, we're 62. But be aware, there's some shower chances and some falling temperatures. So just make sure you bring a jacket or something if you've got some Thanksgiving plans as we cool back down by the end of next week.
All right, that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour in the KOAM Morning News. Time is running out for the 9 million Americans who have yet to claim stimulus checks or child tax credit payments. Are you one of them?
Plus, we've got the news you need to know before you head out the door. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. It's more real news in the morning. We'll be right back.
In Consumer Watch this morning, today is the last day to file a simple tax form if you're one of the 9 million Americans with unclaimed stimulus or child tax credit payments. The IRS began sending letters last month to alert those who are eligible. IRS filing website will stay open until midnight. Multiple celebrities, including Tom Brady, Larry David, and Steph Curry, have been named in a class action lawsuit over the collapse of the cryptocurrency exchange FTX. The lawsuit accuses the celebrity endorsers and the company's ex-CEO of targeting unsophisticated investors who later lost money in the collapse. The Bahamas-based company filed for bankruptcy last week and is now the subject of inquiries from federal regulators and Congress. And for a second time this year, Disney will raise prices for most of its Florida theme parks by about 12%. Starting next month, visitors to the Magic Kingdom, Epcot, and other major attractions can plan to pay from just over $100 to $189 for daily tickets, with the highest ticket price expected during the busy week from Christmas to New Year's Day. This is also the first time all 4 parks will be priced separately. Highway safety experts put small pickup trucks to the test using more severe measures to match the current dangers on the road. This latest round looked at the impact of side crashes, which account for about a quarter of all traffic fatalities. Danya Bacchus has the results.
6 small pickup trucks took a beating. The nonprofit Insurance Institute for Highway Safety ran tests to see how the vehicles held up when hit from the side and generally liked the results. Becky Miller is a senior research engineer.
5 of the 6 vehicles got a good or acceptable rating. 1 received a marginal rating.
Good ratings went to the Chevrolet Colorado, the GMC Canyon, and the Honda Ridgeline.
We saw that the structure really held up to prevent the doors from coming in and intruding on the dummies.
This year's updated test smashed a heavier barrier into the pickups, 4,200 pounds, to represent a collision with an average SUV. Crews launched it at 37 miles per hour, then recorded the impact. The Nissan Frontier and Ford Ranger came out with only acceptable ratings because of the potential for head injuries to rear passengers. And while the Toyota Tacoma did well in some categories, it got a lower marginal rating because of how the impact crumbled the side of the truck.
The whole side of the structure really collapsed in significantly into the occupant compartment. Side crashes still account for nearly a quarter of the crash fatalities that are happening on U.S. roadways, so we think this is a really important topic.
The IIHS says small pickups have struggled for good ratings in the past, and these latest results are a shift in the right direction. Danya Bacchus, CBS News, Los Angeles.
All 6 of the small pickups received good ratings in the original side test before the IIHS switched to more severe conditions. That's it for Consumer Watch. Here's Chris with another look at your forecast.
We got a cold start for us today. A little bit warmer this afternoon as we get up to 46 degrees. But as temperatures fall throughout the late afternoon and evening hours, we're going to see a wintry mix start to move in. It'll start affecting areas along the north of, say, Highway 54 later this afternoon and early evening. And then it'll start shifting south of Highway 54 and overspread more of the area as the night goes on. Of course, as temperatures drop, we'll see more wintry type weather, and we'll drop back down to a very chilly 22 degrees tonight. Now for your weekend, it's looking better. 43 Saturday, 47 on Sunday with some clearing skies out there, so that's always a good thing. And Tomorrow, not so good, 32 degrees. Let's just pretend tomorrow's not happening almost, just because it's going to be so cold. As we head into next week, though, temperatures start to get back to normal as we look at them going back into the 50s to near 60 degrees. We're going to celebrate birthdays and anniversaries coming up, but first, we're going to take a look at what's happening on CBS Mornings.
Thursday, at home with rapper Fat Joe, plus Late Show host Stephen Colbert on CBS Mornings, Thursday.
We take this time to honor today's four-state hero, Sergeant Giles Hammonds. The Stockton, Missouri native served in Okinawa and in Korea from 1952 to 1953 as part of the 71st Chemical Smoke Generator Battalion, 8th Army Division. To Sergeant Giles Hammonds, we thank you, today's four-state hero.
All right, time for some terrific Thursday birthdays, and we're starting our list in Fort Scott with Rowan Ratcliffe, turning 7 years old today. Happy birthday, Rowan.
All right, Preston Whitechurch turning 10 years old today in Jasper, Missouri, with love from Granny and Papa Charles.
And we've got Brinley Harrison celebrating birthday number 13 in Pittsburgh. A very happy birthday, Brinley.
I like that picture there. That's pretty cool. Charlie Gideon celebrating Sweet 16, a sophomore at Southeast High School in Cherokee with love from the entire family.
And we've got Mallory Gazaway celebrating birthday number 22 in Liberal. See, Mallory's birthday was actually on Tuesday, which means she's been celebrating all week long. And Mallory is one of our graphic artist Will York's cousins. Very happy birthday, Mallory.
All right. Haley Meyer celebrating birthday number 24 this year. What a great family picture there. Haley in Sarcoxie with love from the family.
And we've got Brandy Singer in Baxter Springs celebrating birthday number 40 today. And this is a happy birthday from your best friend, Sherry. So very happy birthday, Brandy.
Aw. And Crystal Welch turning the big 4-0 in Columbus. Actually, her birthday was yesterday, but we're wishing her birthday all weekend long.
And we've got Gil Bierbauer celebrating birthday number 60 in Fort Scott, celebrating it in style at the bowling alley there. Gil, a very happy birthday to you.
Yeah, enjoy your time at the lanes there. And John Pack celebrating birthday number 67 this year. Mr. Pack is in Thayer, Kansas. Happy birthday.
And we have got Bill Houston celebrating number 75 in Girard, and this comes with love from your wife Janet, kids, and the grandkids. Happy birthday.
Right, Marshall Harp celebrating another year wiser in Miami. I hope you have a wonderful day, Marshall.
And our list continues with Peggy Strickland in Oswego celebrating a birthday, and Nick and Lavinia Rollmiller celebrating their 73rd wedding anniversary in Miami, and this comes with love from the entire family. Happy birthday and anniversary to everyone on our list, and let's continue to make this list great by adding to it. And if you need to know how to do that, I have so much good news. Tanya can tell you exactly how.
Yes, we'd like to get those pictures. So those are the easiest way to send them to us is through email, and you can use either of those two addresses. Birthdays with an S at KOAMTV.com or birthdays with an S at KOAMNewsNow.com. Don't forget all the fun details like the age, what city you're from if you'd like to include that, if you have a special note. And please tell us the day of the birthday if it falls on the weekend. We like to air Saturday ones on Fridays and Sundays on Mondays, so let us know if that works.
The birthday itself, very important, so we know when to put it in. And of course, while you're at our website, make sure you take time to sign up for the KOAM Birthday Club. It is free and easy to do. You go to the KOAMNewsNow.com website, go to the mornings page, and you'll see a big button for the KOAM Birthday Club. You click on it, you sign up, you get great deals from local businesses and a birthday message from your friends here at KOAM. So go to KOAMNewsNow.com, sign up for the birthday club today. And today's a good day to stay inside, or at least during the morning hours to sign up for that. As we head into the afternoon, so north of 54 by noon, we start to see a rain-snow kind of mix up there. And as the evening progresses, we start to see it start shifting further south. So right along Highway 54, So when we see this wintry mix moving through. And then by 7:30, we've got some rain showers blended in with maybe some sleet and some snow, and that's why we call it a wintry mix, anywhere from 54 to I-44. And as temperatures fall off, we'll start to see kind of more of a snow-sleet mixture out there, and we may even see a stray flurry or snow shower early tomorrow morning as this system exits. We're not expecting a lot in terms of accumulation from this system, maybe a dusting to half an inch for the areas highlighted there, and even maybe outside of that a little bit could see a dusting. Gorgeous sunrise, 7th and range line, despite how cold it is. 22 degrees, feels like 14. We'll see clouds increasing later today. 23 Chanute, 19 in Parsons, 18 Chetopa, 24 Miami, 23 Neosho, 19 Monette, and 22 in Carthage. Live look at the MoDOT camera, 36 in range line. Looks good so far, and we do have a green light for your morning drive. So we'll start to see the clouds increase. We'll be in the 20s, so a little bit on the cold side. A yellow light for the drive home, because as that wintry mix moves through the area later this evening, that's when we could start to see a few more slick spots on the road. So do be cautious as you drive home today, if you're doing any driving tonight and into tomorrow morning. Kids getting on the bus this morning, as they will do so here in about 8.5 minutes. 20 degrees and cloudy. And then when they get home, a little bit warmer, 46 and mostly cloudy. And that's our high for today, 46. So a little bit warmer than what we saw yesterday. And then we'll start to cool off, and that wintry mix moves in. And again, maybe some light snow possible overnight tonight as we drop back down to 22 degrees. And as we head into the 7-day forecast, 32 on Friday, so another cold one. And then look at this. We start to warm up, 43 Saturday, 47 Sunday. Getting into next week, into the 50s, 60 by Wednesday. Maybe some rain showers Wednesday and on Thanksgiving, but as you can see, we get up to 62, but beware, temperatures are going to fall through the day, so bring a jacket with you. Maybe some early morning flurries for Black Friday, and then we cool back down after Thanksgiving. So a couple of cold days and nights, then we start to warm up, and then we'll see another cool down, so enjoy it while you can. We're back with a lot more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Law officers search for a domestic assault suspect at a home on the 1800 block of Joplin's West 21st Street for several hours on Tuesday. And as authorities continue their search, they have now released his identity. They say 32-year-old Christopher Smith of Joplin assaulted a woman by punching her in the head multiple times and choking her. Smith has an active warrant for second-degree domestic assault. Authorities charge a Tennessee man in the tragic death of a Southwest Missouri man. The July crash claimed the life of 67-year-old Dell Clark of Next City. Nashville police say Jeremy King of Troy, Tennessee was driving 89 miles per hour and passing cars when he clipped another car and lost control. He then hit two other cars, including Clark's. Police say King is still hospitalized. There were no signs of alcohol or drug impairment. King is charged with vehicular homicide by recklessness, among other counts. And authorities charge Austin Bryant with the armed robbery of a pizza delivery driver in Joplin. Investigators say the victim delivered a pizza to a home on West 20th Street when a man pointed a gun at him and demanded the pizza, his phone, and all of his money. SWAT was called in to make the arrest. Bryant is charged with first-degree robbery and armed criminal action. Frozen water pipes can be an unexpected frustration during the cold weather, and as the temperature continues to drop, it becomes even more important to make sure your pipes are well insulated. An official with Missouri American Water says warm pipes are a necessity to get through the cold weather. That's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
Oh, we got a cold start for us today, but a little warmer this afternoon than what we saw yesterday. 46 for the high, and then as the evening progresses, starting about Highway 54 around, say, Nevada to Fort Scott and points west, we're going to see a wintry mix start to move in, and it'll overspread the area as the evening progresses and temperatures drop back down. And we'll see some light snow, and that wintry mix persist into the overnight hours. 22 for the low, maybe some light snow clearing early tomorrow. And then tomorrow itself, 32 degrees, very cold for Friday. And we start to warm up through the weekend, and look at next week, temperatures returning to close to normal. So we get back into the 50s to near 60, maybe some rain chances on Wednesday, but just a couple more cold days and nights, and we're going to start to get decent for at least a little bit.
All right, well, coming up today at noon, we're making a butter-basted herb turkey in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
And your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings, and a look at Margaret Brennan's sit-down with former Vice President Mike Pence ahead of the interview's release on Sunday. It's coming up next on CBS Mornings.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. And this morning, the 31st annual Cecil Floyd Craft Show is here. We've got all the information that you need to know.
Plus, our own Yana Hatala tells us more about this year's Empty Bowls event and how you can help. I pointed at Tanya specifically. It's how she can help. And, of course, how you can help. All those details. A lot more cool stuff coming up. That's going to wrap it up for us for now. We're going to be back here tomorrow morning, 5 a.m.
And we're going to do it again today at noon.